Let me take you through a shop as a Canadian bodybuilder for 75 bucks. Come with me. Okay, so a little bit of context. My wife going in for a C-section here in tomorrow. So tomorrow, I need to make sure I have 3 days worth of food. That's what we're gonna aim to do today. 3 days worth of food, 75 bucks. So where we're gonna start off with is actually making sure that we check the flyer. So they don't have a physical flyer here, but if you're smart, what you're gonna do is you're gonna go and you're gonna, this is the Flip app, is what it's called. Gives you all the flyers. You're gonna go in beforehand and you're just gonna scope out. So step one, see what we got going on for deals. Okay, so we need to know how much food we're getting. So we're gonna take our macros. For me, this is gonna be 300 grams carbohydrate, 300 grams protein, about 75 grams of fat. I'm gonna break that up over 5 meals a day. So each meal needs to be 50 grams of protein, 50 grams of carbs, 15 grams of fat. So we're gonna start with the most expensive part, which is proteins. So we'll head over to the proteins, the meat section. We checked the flyer. Okay, so the biggest part about this is actually being prepared going into it. So knowing to hit those macros, I need 200 grams of meat per meal. I'm aiming for 200 grams of chicken, 200 grams of lean beef, and an egg or egg white meal. So those are gonna be our main proteins that we're pulling from. You are gonna be losing some weight when you cook your meat. So if we're needing, for example, 3 days worth of food, we need to buy 1.6 kilo of chicken. So the best deal that we can with 1.6 kilo of chicken. So we're gonna go through here and we're gonna find that. So we got 1.7 kilos of chicken. This should get us around cooked. So we'll start there with the chicken. All right, now that we have our chicken, we're gonna aim to get our beef. So the beef is gonna lose a little bit more weight than the chicken. So I'm gonna aim to get about 2 kilos of beef. We want lean. This is 900, 2x450. So you got 2 of those. 45 bucks of our, so now we just need to get some eggs, egg whites, and then our proteins are covered. So we're gonna grab a liter, because I would like 900, or 500, grab a little one. Now we need eggs. Okay, let's try to find the cheapest eggs we can. So let's make sure these aren't messed up. These are good. So we got 25 bucks to get our carbs and to get some fats and potentially some fruit, hopefully fruit and veggie. Okay, so let's see what we can do. We got kind of 2 options that we can go through here. I like cream of rice, but you could also go with an oats. Today, we're getting 350. So that's a pretty damn good deal on there. And we need about 250 grams-ish. This puts us at about 400, so we actually got a little bit extra, which is nice. I'm just gonna do the cream of rice because I'm 2 weeks post-show and my digestion is a little finicky. So I need to be a little bit more mindful. So we'll start with that. We've got about 20 bucks left. We need to get some actual rice, some fats, and some fruit and veg. Let's go get the most important bits, which is gonna be our rice. Let's go find a little bag. I need about 700. So this looks like our best deal right now, but a lot of times when you're doing rice, they put anytime in a store, they're gonna put the most expensive stuff at eye level. So sometimes if something's not cheap, you actually wanna look low. So we're gonna do the jasmine, and this will give us 750 grams, which is pretty damn close to what we're needing. And we have extra cream of rice. If we're short of rice, we can make up those carbs with the cream of rice. So we'll do this for our rice. That's 325. Let's tally this up. These are, let's say 11. Let's do taxes in on these just so that we're thinking. Do 11 bucks, 22 bucks. We'll say this is 24. So we're at 46. This was 350. So we're at 49.50. Let's call it 50 bucks. This was $4 and this was about 5 bucks. So I'm gonna get one of these. What are we at? 50, 55 bucks? Okay. We got to get some veggies is going to be our number one to go to here. If we have budget for it, we'll get some frozen fruit. And then we're going to look for a little bit of fats. Luckily, we've got fats in the beef. We've got fats in the eggs. So if we are short on budget, we got some fats. We'll be okay. So let's do a mixed veg. 2 of these. That's funny. Better deal. We'll do 2 of these. So that's why we look at sales. If you were really wanting to get on it, you do the flyer and you map it all out the night before, nerd out about it. It would really only go with the first meal of the day. $3 for 400 gram. That gets us a good little chunk, actually. Now this is where you get to have fun. You can either use the pineapple, mango, and banana, or the strawberry, blueberry, and banana. Generally, I'm gonna pick berries over stuff just because they do have more polyphenols, more antioxidants in them. Blueberries are generally good on digestion, strawberries too. So this is gonna be our hit. Okay, we got some fats to get, and that's it. So we pretty much got either a peanut butter or some kind of olive oil. Peanut butter isn't gonna go with a bunch of our meals, but that's okay, because the other option is doing a little bit of olive oil, but our meals already have a little bit of fats in them. So either or is gonna be okay. Let's see what's gonna be the best deal. I don't know if we got that for the peanut butter. Oh, here you go, $3. So we'll use the fats, $3.29. Okay, we're gonna grab that. We'll go see olive oil and we'll see what's gonna be our best bet. So we would just do peanut pieces for $1.29. If you were, instead of wanting extra virgin olive oil, you could actually do a coconut oil here for $3. And this would be a good fat source as well. So let's grab this, and then depending on where we check out at, this is what I'm gonna do for our best budget. I'm gonna get the coconut oil because we can use it on all our chicken meals. The peanut butter would really only go with maybe the chicken meals, but our oatmeal or our cream of rice there in the morning. And I'm just gonna have the peanuts with my cream of rice in the morning. So that freed up a couple bucks for us. Okay, let's roll. The whole goal here is I gotta make it under 75 bucks. So I do have a shopper's card here. I don't know if it's gonna help me today, but it's gonna save me anything to use my. Okay, we got $1.50. I'm gonna give you that. I'll take my, what are these? Animal Friends, collect and discover interesting animal facts. My kids will love that. Okay, we got $1.50, so maybe let's go see if we can find a mustard or something. Can I leave you here? I'm gonna go grab a mustard. It's awesome. It's like taking me back to my broke college days, trying to make it all work. Okay, we're back home. We're gonna get into cooking. When you're cooking, we can be time efficient. We don't need to cook, one thing at a time. So oven is preheated. We're gonna get the rice cooker rolling. And while the meats are cooking, beef in a pan, all of this, we're gonna be making our meal one, which is gonna be our cream of rice meal. And we can have everything come done at the same time. That way we're not waiting around for one thing to finish. We're getting with the next. So first thing, I'm gonna get the rice going because that's gonna take the longest time. I'm gonna cook all of this rice. You can just look at the instructions on the back. So we'll go to 3 cups of water, and then I salt mine. So I'm gonna get a cup. So there's, turn it so you can see it. 2 and 3, 4. Okay, that's pretty on it. So we got 4 cups of rice, 6 cups of water. So take my little measuring glass here, and we got 2 going in, 4 and 6. I know someone's yelling at me to rinse my rice. Hold the salt here. One of the easiest ways to make sure that your food is actually going to be consistent electrolyte-wise throughout the week, making sure you're getting your sodium consistent rather than, sometimes you're using 10 shakes of a salt shaker, is I have a little spoon within my salt here, and this is a quarter of a teaspoon. And I do the same prep every time. So I do 1 of these for every cup of rice, 2, 3, and 4. Close that sucker up, and we'll put her on quick rice. Now we're rolling here. Okay, now we're gonna work off of what's gonna take the second longest, which is gonna be our meats. So we're gonna just bake our chicken because it's gonna be the easiest way to do it. I take our chicken breast, we're gonna cook it all. I'm gonna put a little bit of seasoning. So this is assuming the $75 does not include your seasonings. And you don't need much because a lot of people over season the hell out of their food and then wonder why they have digestion issues. It's just for a little bit, okay? So we're gonna do just a little bit of this. This is this honey mustard seasoning. We're just gonna do a little bit on one side. Perfect. And then I'm just gonna use my knife and lay them down. Now what I should do, I'm gonna lay them this way, that way. Now we're gonna just season the other side quick. Like I said, you don't need much, so you can always put more on after. But if you over season your chicken for the whole 3 days, oof, rough. So I have my oven at 425. I'm gonna put it in. We're gonna go for 25 minutes and then I'm gonna temp it. Alexa, set an alarm for 25 minutes.
Alarm set for 25 minutes from now.
There we go. Next thing we're gonna get into is gonna be the beef. Generally, what I do if I'm cooking a lot of it, rather than putting it in a pan, I put it in a pot so you don't end up just making a huge mess. It does take a little bit longer to cook, but that's okay. And with the ground beef, you don't need to pre-oil the pan. You don't need to put the coconut oil in there or anything because there's a lot of fat in here. It's gonna work as, it's gonna grease the pan itself. You don't need to add a whole bunch in there. Now we're getting fat. I'm gonna throw these veggies in the pan beside it just so that we can get them cooked off. Yeah, I don't know if you want to jump over here and get B-roll or something. Yeah. These ones, I will use a little bit of that coconut oil in, and we don't need much. We're just using enough to kind of coat the pan so that the veggies don't stick. I'm not going to measure this because it's going to be 5 ml over, a whole tray of veggies. If you're in contest prep or something, don't do this. But we're not right now. So a little bit, 5 extra grams of fat over 3 days is going to be okay. You got to remember, coconut oil has a pretty low burn rate, so you don't need to have your pan cranking hot, or else you're going to just end up smoking the house out. Okay. Get the oil going around. Turn that sucker down. Let's get our veggies in there. I'm going to just do all of these veggies. And then if we have extra, we got extra. We can divvy it up. Okay, now that pan, this pot here has had enough time, let's throw our beef in there. Nice and easy. I'm going to get all of it in there all at once. Okay, now we got everything kind of rolling. I'm not a guy that puts a bunch of seasoning on my veggies because I already have seasoning usually on the meat. So I just put salt on my veggies. Once again, if this is going over 4 meals over 5 days, 12, I'll put 1 scoop, 2 scoop, 3 scoop, 4 scoop, and we'll go from there. So it's just nice and consistent. Let's give these suckers a little mix. We're going to play the waiting game smart. So while this is cooking, we're going to make our meal 1. So our meal 1, we're going to be doing the eggs, egg whites, cream of rice, the little bits of peanuts, and the fruit in there. We'll build all this out macro-wise. Things are going to be slightly different than what originally, we're looking for 50 grams. People are looking for 60. 60 grams of protein per meal, 60 grams of carbs per meal, and 15 grams of fat. Because we're not able to get the full 1 liter of the egg whites, we're gonna make these meals. There's probably gonna be a little bit of meat left over. And during that first meal, we might actually have to take some of that extra meat and put it in with the egg whites to make sure that we're hitting all of our proteins for the day. So while we're waiting for that, we can actually cook up our cream of rice. And our cream of rice with that first meal, if we're looking to get around 60 grams of carbs, we're gonna be around that 70 grams of cream of rice because we're also gonna be putting fruit in it, okay? So it's gonna make up the difference with the extra little bit of carbs that we're needing. Let's get our handy dandy food scale out. It's funny because I had bought a beautiful food scale a couple weeks ago and it ended up dying. I put new batteries in it every other day. You spend 40 bucks on a nice food scale and you end up going back to the $8 one that your mom gave you back in college. So it's funny how things nowadays aren't as good as they used to be. So we're gonna do 70 grams. You know what? I think we're gonna be closer to 65 because of that fruit, because it has banana in it. So we'll do 65 grams of cream of rice there. We'll do 60 grams of cream of rice here, 65. And we still have like half a box of cream of rice here. So we got lots to go. I'm gonna put, what I always do is 1 scoop in here. Probably think, Carson, that's a lot of salt. Yeah, what do you think your body's energy system works with as far as electrolytes? We're talking sodium, potassium, and water. So if you don't have ample sodium, you're not gonna get muscle contractions. Training's gonna be shit. Electrolytes gonna be all off. So with our cream of rice, now we're gonna get some water in it. We're gonna throw it in the microwave. I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna redo that one. I'm gonna show you how we're gonna be able to cook our cream of rice properly without getting it all clumpy. But first, to vacuum up that mess and remake this one. Let's see how much is left in there. 49, 65, and clean that up before my wife gets home. I haven't seasoned anything yet. We just got the meat in the pan. That's all we got going. Once it all has kind of browned a little bit, that's when I'll start to put some seasonings in. Just make sure these veggies aren't getting burnt up on the bottom. We're not wanting to burn the crap out of these veggies. We're just wanting them a little bit softened so that they're easy to digest. Okay, we'll leave that alone. So with our cream of rice, you could weigh out all the water and do the stuff, but once you've been doing this long enough, you can kind of eyeball how much water you want in each one. I like to kind of cover mine, and then we're gonna do it a minute at a time in the microwave. Give it a minute, give it a little stir, and then you get it to this consistency where you're happy with it. Because it's gonna be overnight, I'm not eating all of this all right now. I'm actually gonna make mine a little bit runny because when I warm it up, it's gonna dry it out a little bit. And I'll get these two watered up as well. So while the microwave is doing its thing, we've got these other two that need to go in there. This is where we can do our eggs. So with that first meal, we're gonna be doing 3 eggs. So I'm gonna cook those up. We'll do 3. We can actually, if you're really wanting, you could actually mix them in with your cream of rice. I find 1 works really well. As soon as you get 3 in there, it ends up becoming kind of like a biscuit. Not ideal. I'm not gonna pre-prep these. Maybe I will. We're gonna be in the hospital with that baby. So let's pre-cook these. I'm probably just gonna do, it's gonna be 3 per meal. So that'll give us around that 15 gram fat. Wow, there we go. Our first round of cream of rice. So it's gonna come out looking a little ugly. First round, this is where most people mess up and they start eating that, or they nuke it right off the bat. And you end up with this clumpy mess. Not fun. So this is what I'm gonna do, is you give it a little stir, make sure you get all the clumps out, and you throw it back in for another minute. Set that guy away. We'll wait for these. I'm gonna get the pan rolling for eggs. We're gonna wait until these veggies are done so we don't end up using a bad pan for eggs. So these veggies are pretty close here, maybe another minute. Then we'll throw them in a bowl. Like I said, they don't need to be like crispy fried or anything. They just need to be softened up so that they're easy to digest. So sometimes you'll see with the cream of rice, like I said, it's gonna get a little clumpy, but that's okay. Because what we're gonna do is we're gonna put our fruit in there. So we have our little mix here of our bananas and blueberries and strawberries. There's 400 grams. We're doing it over 3 meals. So about 135 grams per meal, which is going to put us kind of right at that carb amount that we're wanting as well. It's always the worst pair of scissors that you have at Foundation, the ones you use all the time, right? Okay, zero that guy out. I'm going to throw one of these other ones in the microwave. That sucker rolling. These are done. We'll shut those off quick. We're going to do 135 of this mix. I'm not going to be super picky about what amounts of berries or what amounts of banana are in each one. It'll be okay, because it's going to even out over the days. Right there. Beautiful. So we're going to take that guy, and you remember how I said it was kind of thick? Depending on what berries you get, they're obviously frozen. So when they are put into the hot, they're going to make things a little bit more runny. If you want your cream of rice a little bit runnier, you can always throw a little bit more water in it, like something in the world. But it's not good when you overcook the shit out of it and it ends up being this rice pie. Even for this one, a little bit clumpy, a little bit more water in it. And that's it. Doesn't need to be much, just a little bit. And you just gotta take your time with it. You spread it around, get it moving, work out all the little clumps. The more time you're gonna spend with this, better it's gonna turn out. And as much as I'm a fan of, things like some of the fancier cream of rices, like the Elevate ones that are all flavored and delicious, if we would have got a bag of that cream of rice, we would have been able to get 2 bags of cream of rice for $75. We wouldn't have been able to have any protein. That's not fun. So there is our cream of rice. Now all we got to do is add our little bit of peanuts to it, which is going to be, let me check my counter here. Should be, it's not much because we got the eggs. We're just going to have 5 grams of peanuts per meal. It's not a lot. Zero that sucker out. 5 grams, right there. And we're going to repeat that for all 3 of these meals. Like, if I can get this to stay, you'll see it's not a bad looking little meal here. Like, that ain't too shabby. That ain't too bad. Delish. Throw that out to the side. Let's work on this other stuff. It's really good. This was the cream of rice from before. We're just going to rinse and repeat with the rice and try to keep an eye on the meats while we're rolling. I got a little excited with the eggs, so these don't need to be here yet. Got some egg whites over the edge. So that means. Cool. Okay. I am a very simple guy when it comes to my beef. I am a salt and pepper man. I don't like to put a bunch of taco seasoning within it with all the garlic and the onions and all the stuff. It doesn't upset my stomach. And then you end up walking around smelling like a taco all day. Which if that's your shit, that's okay. That's not even for me. So salt and pepper heavy for my beef. Easy peasy. No, I'm not an animal. This is just the world's slowest pepper shaker. You get your cardio in doing that. Let's do a little bit of our bit. It's super subtle. Beautiful. Gorgeous. So this beef is almost done. There's a couple minutes on that guy. And then we're gonna drain the fat out of it. So we don't need all that extra. Drain it the lid. Right, rinse and repeat with the cream of rice. I'm gonna get a little bit of water in this one before I put the frozen berries in. I'm just gonna mix this one up because I know how the other one happened. It was a little bit clumpier than I'd like. This one we're gonna mix up before we put the berries in. There you go. Do that. Okay. Just throw the 135 berries in there. Berries and banana. Must be like no banana in this one. Really chinched out. It's okay. Mix that sucker up. We're gonna throw this one in the microwave. It's just about multitasking while we're rolling here. You good? We got 10 minutes left on this rice. We got about, Alexa, how much longer on that timer?
Your alarm will go off.
We got 3 minutes on the chicken, which is perfect, because it's going to give us a few minutes to shred it up. Things are perfect here. It's like I know what I'm doing. That beautiful thing. Okay, there is that. We're going to throw our 5 grams of peanuts on here. Get that. Done. Done deal. Once again, not a bad looking meal. You want a little sweeter? You got that budget for that Splenda? You got that Splenda money? You hit that up.
Yeah.
Right, I'm gonna take those veggies, I'm just gonna throw them in a bowl so that I can use that better pan for my eggs. Just give a little bit of a seed as we go. Okay, veggies are out of here. Now we got a pan freed up. Keep that up, just off to the side. Last cream of rice, roll in. Let's get a little bit of, whoa! Alexa, you can turn that off. I'll check the temp of the meat in a second. Let's just see and make sure it goes out burn it. Balance that. Just mix that cream of rice up. For whatever reason, we did them all the same. This one's a little bit more runny, but that's okay. Our mics. Do our last little bit of fruit in here. And there we go, 132. So, no name brand owes me 3 grams. Perfect. All right, and then there's 5 grams of nuts over there. That, beautiful. Now we got a good portion of our breakfast right there. Let's temp the chicken to see where that's at. We're looking for that 165. I'm going to pick the biggest one. Okay, we are at 162. So I'm going to leave that for another minute or two. And then I'm actually going to drain the fat out of that beef so it's not a soupy mess. So this is the easiest way to do it. Take yourself a bowl. We're just going to take our beef in our hot pan in our hands. And just pour that sucker in there. Oh, hot, hot. So I pour it with the fingers. So we'll let that beef kind of sit for a minute, work all the fat out. We are done with our peanuts for now. We are done with our cream of rice for now. We got our coconut oil, we've got our eggs. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna cook 3 for this meal, but I think I'm gonna leave these for cooking fresh, or at least until tomorrow, so that they're not 3-day-old eggs by Sunday. But you'll get the gist where we're gonna take our egg whites. We're using all of these because these are liquid gold. These cost the most. So we'll take that. We're going to divvy that up over 3 of these meals. Let's get this pan. I'll stick to what we've been doing. We'll use the coconut. So because we're not going to count for the use for our fats, what we're going to do is just make sure the pan's just a little bit greased with it. So you got most of it off, but now we're going to have a sticky pan. And we'll do our 3 eggs. 1, 2, 3. We'll bring our scale over here. 2. And this runaway egg here decided to almost get away from us. You made a 0 at that scale, and then you just take the negative of it instead of trying to wait. You go here, 0. We need 165, 77, 154. So you're gonna make it 158, 163, 167. That's okay. We're gonna be close enough. And we're gonna, whenever we make that egg meal, we'll just do that exact thing. So we'll do the 3 eggs with our 165. We'll get those cooked up. In the meantime, let's take a look at that chicken. Should be good. Oh yeah, it's 165, 67, 3 plus. We are golden there, guys. Beautiful. Almost 10. And our rice is probably done too. 3 minutes left. We are on time, folks. Pepper on that, guys. I'm going to use a little bit of seasoning on my eggs. So I'm going to use this beautiful everything bagel seasoning. Just a little bit. Now we can start making some meals, putting them together. Let's pretend I washed these. My beautiful cameraman Ryan has guilted me into rinsing my Tupperware. So that's what we did. So these eggs, I'm just going to make like a little half kind of, I don't know, the omelet with that thing caught in it. I did break the yolk, so it's okay. It's really testing my flexibility today. So to make sure that we get the rest of that steam without, cooking the bottom up too bad, just baste it. We'll baste that sucker. Throw that on there. That'll cook through. All right. Now we can start putting these meals together. Okay, and then we got this. Put these away. Put these away for later. Those snacks are not mine. I have kids. Okay? They're not mine. This is how we're going to divvy this thing up. Rice is done. Let's just give this a minute to... Well, beautiful. We got our veggies here. We got our meat. We're waiting on the chicken, which is going to be done cooling in just a second. We got our little omelette, little sad omelette here. I did break a yolk. Each one of these, we got to remember, each one of these meals will have that to accompany it. So it's not all by itself. Now we just got to put some rice together. Because we're keeping things simple, having just one carb source here, we need, for 60 grams of carbohydrate, we need 215 grams of cooked jasmine rice. I just need a spoon here. So I need how many of these guys? 1, 2, 3, 6, 12. 12 of these meals. 198, 204, because you're gonna have a little bit of trace carbs from veggies. So we're gonna line up and we'll do 210 for all 12 of these meals, and then we'll put the meats in. Well, okay, so this is the last one we can make because we did not have quite enough rice for that full 60 grams of carbs for all of the meals. But luckily, we actually have a bunch of cream of rice left over. So we're gonna bridge the gap with the cream of rice. Works out perfect. We are meeting, how was it with the cream of rice? 7. So we have how many meals here? 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 meals. We have 3 more meals that we got to make out of cream of rice, and we'll see if we have enough here. We need 210. I think we're going to be a little shy. That's 180. And then we have trace carbs from all of this, so we'll be okay. We're going to make it right on the dot. Here's what we're going to do. We got 180 here. We're going to go 60, 60, 60. 70, 70. No, we got 210. So, yeah. And this is the magic of when you are doing budget shops. In an ideal world, you'd be doing a 7-day, cook, and you would end up with, a little bit more flexibility versus these ones. We're just going to have to make it work, which is fine. 1, 2, 3. Yep, we're good. So I'm going to get these cream of rices done. We're not going to put any fruit in them. And then we're going to make sure we have enough meat to cover all of our foods. And then from there, we're going to just maybe push and pull a little bit of carbohydrate to make sure that all the meals are going to end up at least similar. And then our daily value of 300 grams of carbs, 300 grams of protein, 75 grams of fats is nailed throughout the meals. So we're going to piece this together and then we'll be perfect. And so let's get our meats sorted out and finished here so that we can make sure we divvy them up enough. So this is what we're going to do. Let's move this just forward. I'm going to show you some magic. This is what we're looking for here. This is, if you're someone who gets the chicken ick, shred your chicken. It tastes so much better for whatever reason. Shredded chicken is more delicious than just cut up chicken. And I don't know what it is about that, but that's kind of how it works. Yeah, fix this. I mean, t-shirts. While we're doing this, we're gonna keep these cream of rices rolling. Make sure that we got all these meals. See, that one ended up a little too thick. Too thick. We're gonna water that sucker down. Okay. So now we have our extra little bit of cream of rice for one of our beef meals. Which is not the end of the world. Beef and cream of rice. That's okay. Okay. Take our chicken. I'm gonna put it in a big bowl here again so we can make sure we see how much we actually do have. So you're gonna take your chicken, throw it in there. I think this is like $10 on Amazon. I used to make fun of Chelsea for using it, and then now it's using it all the time. Just kind of how it works, I think. Shit. Wait for now. We're just gonna shred up all that chicken, so you end up with this. You just gotta work it one at a time. If you were in a rush and you're like, I gotta make this roll, you could just cut it up, of course, right? You're just gonna cut it, be way quicker. But I don't mind doing this. Take an extra minute or two, make your food the way you like it. You got the last chicken titty going in there. Oh, fantastic. Okay, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna weigh all this cooked chicken so we do have an idea exactly where it's at. I'm just gonna drain this off this tray.
And I just want to weigh this chicken. That way we can spread it out over 8 meals. So just going to get it off of this. And then we're going right back in this bowl in a minute here. And I'm just going to use my hands because I'm going to eat that on. Let's see how much we got. Because that's the thing. It should math out a lot of the times, but sometimes it's going to be slightly off. Because if you buy a cheaper chicken that they maybe plump it up with stuff, it can be a little different. Okay, we are at 1,240 grams of chicken. And that came from 1.7. So it should have rendered a little bit more than what we had, but that's okay. That's what are you gonna do?
Really?
Okay, we got our last cream of rice here, all done. I'm gonna water it down a little bit more. It's a little pasty. So we're roughly looking for about 50 grams of protein from chicken for each of these meals. And then from veggies and from the rice, you're gonna get a little bit of trace that will take us to that kind of 60 gram mark, which is right where we wanna be. So we're gonna split this chicken up and we're gonna go about what we need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then this one will be for, okay. So we have all our meals kind of laid out here now. Now we're just going to put the proteins. We're going to match it, make sure that every meal does get enough protein per. Just imagine that we do have an egg meal with each of the cream of rice. I don't want to batch cook, pre-cook eggs. Usually they don't sit super well for a couple days. So just keep that in mind. So we have 1,260 grams of chicken breast here. We need to split it up over 6 meals. So that's what we're going to do. That's going to end up at 210 per meal. So we're going to just do 210 per meal and we're going to sequence it. So we're not having 2 chicken in a row and then 2 beef in a row. We're going to do chicken, beef, chicken, beef. I'm going to start with the back here because chicken and cream of rice with peanuts is better than I think beef and rice and peanuts. Doesn't sound as good, so we're gonna do it that way. So we'll zero out the scale, and we gotta do 210. And I know if you were meal prepping for someone else, you probably don't use your fingers like this, but it's just for me, so it's gonna be okay. So there's 210, that meal's good. We'll do another 210 for this meal, 200, and there, 210. One more here, 290, 210, beautiful. Okay, and then we're gonna do this meal here, will be our other 210s are done right there, at least for proteins. So now the next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna work through our beef. And if you look at this. Look how much fat came out of that beef. So let that harden over so you can throw it in the garbage. And we're gonna get rid of that guy. I actually need this bigger bowl. So just bear with me for a sec. Okay, and I just wanna see how much beef we actually have here so that we can divvy it up over those 6 meals. It's 1,200, we gotta get that round. Looking at a barbarian in your day with Leanne's. Someone's gonna say something in the comments. That's okay. So there's 600 we need down to. I had shorted this one by accident. It's okay. There we go. Okay. So now we have all of our proteins. It's veggie time. So we're gonna get 100 grams of veggies per meal. I decided to be less of a barbarian and use my spoon. Let's go 100 per meal. Just gonna churn ceased here. And we do have a little bit of veggies left. So if you were wanting to add a little bit of veggies to that egg meal, you 100% could. I'm going to leave things alone as they are because I don't want too much veggies or else I'm going to be a little gummed up. But look, still ended up with quite a bit left over, so that's okay. Okay, so now we just need to divvy up some fats. So very easy to do. These ones we're going to use peanuts, but these ones, these chicken ones, they have about 5 to 7 grams of fat in them just from the chicken themselves. But I want to have 15 per meal. So we're going to add in about 8 grams of this coconut oil to each of these chicken meals here. So we'll just zero out the scale and we're just going to do 8. Perfect. And when you warm it up, it will obviously not be a big clump within there. 16. I like to have mine on my rice. So I like mix it in with my rice. But if you wanted to have yours on your chicken, it does not matter so long as you are giving it in peanuts. And we need about 7 grams of fat in here. So we're going to do 15 grams of peanuts per meal. So we'll just put it on here for these cream of rice chicken ones at the end. Which you could skip the veggies on those ones if you're like veggies, peanuts, and cream of rice. What is going on? I don't mind it. So I'm okay with it. It's like Asian food, right? We'll get peanut sauce. beef there. Hold on. Pick up 10, 15 there. Okay, I'm just gonna make sure that these beef meals are good to go. Okay, and roll. Okay, so we tallied up all the macros here for this current meals that we have, actually overshot by just a hair. So this is 320 grams of carbs, 305 grams of protein, and 75 grams of fats. So for us to hit our 375, it's as simple as, which if that's fine for you, that's fine for you. We need to pull 100 grams of rice out per day. So it's pretty easy. So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna take 50 out of this meal. So there we go. And we would pull 50 out of this meal as well. And you would do that for all 3 of the days. And then you're at exactly where it needs to be. Okay, so for our meals for the day, of course, meal 1 is gonna be a little bit shy for our proteins, but that's okay because of the rest of the day, we end up making it up. So meal 1 macros for, of course, if we're including this eggs, which we're gonna have about 45 grams of protein, about 70 grams of carbohydrate, and about 15 grams of fat. For meal 2, this beef meal, we're gonna have about 60 grams of protein, 55 grams of carbohydrate, and about 15 grams of fat. For this chicken meal, we got 210 grams of chicken breast, 200 grams cooked white rice, 100 grams of mixed veg, and that coconut oil in there. We're at about 70 grams of protein, 55 grams of carbs, and 15 grams of fat. For this second beef meal, it is a repeat of the first one. So 60 grams of protein, 55 grams of carbs, and 15 grams of fat. And then for this chicken breast meal here to finish it off, we are at that 70 grams of protein. We're at 55 grams of carbohydrate, and we are at 15 grams of fat. So that puts us at our total for 300 grams of protein, 300 grams of carbohydrate, and 75 grams of fat. We did all of this, and we have some stuff left over. We had some rice left over, some coconut oil, and of course we have our mustard, which we can get on. Let's do our beef meal. Oh yeah, baby. What a treat. Okay, so it's not impossible to make all this work. This is 3 days of eating high protein meals, clean, for 75 bucks. Okay, if you guys want more like this, comment down below. If you want a full week like this, comment down below. And if you want to go into what a bodybuilding PED budget looks like, stick around, because that's going to be the next video.
And then